Pasaron más de 20 años del estreno del Club de la Pelea y por tercera vez hablé con Jim Ulls, el responsable de adaptar la obra de Chuck Palahniuk a un libreto cinematográfico que terminó siendo llevado a la pantalla grande por David Fincher con Brad Pitt y Edward Norton como protagonistas. Tenía muchas preguntas que ya le había hecho y otras tantas que habían surgido hace poco, especialmente por lo que fue el lío que hubo en China. Les recuerdo, en China hace un tiempito decidieron cambiar el final rotundamente de esta película, cortarlo justo antes de que explote todo, poner una placa y decir que la policía lo había logrado detener. Bueno, sobre eso hablamos y otras cuestiones tan debatidas como si Marla es real o no es real, por qué empieza, cómo es que nace este club de la pelea, qué significa, cuál es el mensaje de la película y un montón de cosas más, todas en este informe sobre el club de la pelea.
We now return to Mira Akian and Contre with our latest interview.
We are our job, we are our bank account, we are our apartment, we are, we
are our social media nowadays.
Yeah, we are our social media. We're defining ourselves by things that are external to us.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most important message.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club.
Why would people want to fight?
I think it was pulling them out of a very limited pigeonhole they were in their lives, in their jobs, in civilization as we know it. The more primal instincts that exist have been suppressed and put down. And it was an expression of sort of sheer, raw animal power that doesn't happen normally in real life.
Hit me in the ear.
Well, Jesus, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was perfect.
David actually told us to go to the actors and answer this question. And the burning question was, when Tyler says, hit me as hard as you can, why would Jack do it? Why would he do it?
Yeah.
And, Chuck and I both thought, after everything he's been through this particular evening, his condo blowing up and everything he owns blowing out of the window, smashing onto the ground, having no place to go. He was 99% ready to hit somebody when Tyler said that. And they realized, that's right. It wasn't just like, hey, hi, we're meeting for the first time. Hit me as hard as you can. Well, Jack would have never done it. But at this point in time, Jack was quite ready to do it. So I remember it was sort of funny for us all to talk about that.
Yeah, with enough soap, one could blow up just about anything.
Oh my God.
Even the first draft, there were things we'd already agreed about before I started writing it, and that we didn't have the ending in the book in which the character talks about it as if he's in heaven, and you eventually realize he's in a psychiatric ward. I think we felt like, while it was quite entertaining in the book, it felt like that would be going too far with the movie. The book also had a planned explosion to blow up one building, I think it was called the Parker Morris building, so that it would fall onto a museum and get rid of that museum because, to get rid of a piece of culture or something. And we felt like we wanted Tyler to have a bigger plan with that part of, with the ending of the movie. So it was a series of explosions of empty buildings that were all in the financial industry, so that it could begin the process of destroying the financial world, so to speak, the financial functioning of the world as a step towards getting rid of civilization.
How did you come with that plan?
Trust me. Everything's gonna be fine.
I had brought up to David Fincher that credit card companies like Visa, the headquarters,
Yeah.
they're all in Delaware. Can't remember the city, I'm just remembering the state, but they're all in the same place. And I thought, and for the earlier drafts of the script, we named the place. And so we imagined those were the buildings that were being blown up. And then David didn't want the city to be named, but the idea remained.
When did you learn about this? How did you learn about this? What do you think of this in terms of the way it changes the movie artistically, but also story-wise?
Well, I mean, I heard about it probably when everybody did. It was on the internet, it was on the news and everything. But before I read the article, I mean, I just saw that, oh, China did this. Before I read the article, I was like really curious how they recut the movie in the editing room to have this different ending. So I read the article. I can't wait to see this. What did they do? Well, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They stopped the movie and then they projected words on a screen that tell you how they wanted it to end. That's not redoing a movie, not recutting a movie. It's just stopping it and putting a bunch of words up in front of the audience.
Yeah.
I mean, so I didn't even consider it to be a redone version of Fight Club. Then I read about how Chuck said this ending was closer to the book. I guess the words up on the screen in China had a similarity to the way the book ended.
Yeah, and
But I don't know that it was worth Chuck coming out and saying, it's more like my book. It's, I don't know what that gets him. For one thing, he may have been doing it for a lot of reasons, including humor, because Chuck's a very funny guy and he's a very interesting person. And another thing is, he was wonderfully supportive of the movie. He really was, even while it was being made. He came down, he was on set with me. We asked him a lot of things. Even before I wrote the second draft, and he was great. So I think he's a fan of the movie. We're all fans of his book, and I think he's a fan of the movie.
I read that you almost named him Show. I want to ask you two questions related to this. Is it true that you almost named him Show? Why did you change this name? And why, besides this idea of him like doing this monologue, like calling himself Shaq, why doesn't he have a name?
I am Jack's smirking revenge.
He had no name in the book, and he had no name in the movie. Nobody called him by any real name. He had fake names like Cornelius for the support groups, right? Did you mention Joe?
I mentioned Show, yeah.
Okay, well, that came from the series of articles that really did exist in the magazine called Reader's Digest. They would write articles as if a bodily organ were talking and saying, I am Joe's liver, this is what I do. That's where that came from. And we had to change it to I am Jack's liver because Reader's Digest wouldn't give permission for us to use that title. You never hear his name. I mean, you hear the names of those articles, but it's not meant to be his name. We did it because, I mean, our understanding from the book and talking to Chuck Palahniuk was it was part of that, the whole construct that, you know, Tyler was and he were the same person. Other people were looking at the same person all the time. And he called himself Tyler Durden. We couldn't have him also call himself something else. So we just had to have every scene where it was Edward Norton playing that character, the no-name character, be a scene in which no one called him by name.
Yeah.
Or else they'd call him Tyler. We didn't want that. So
Yeah.
he had not have a name.
You shot yourself?
Yes, but it's okay. Marla, look at me. I'm really okay.
Prior to my rewatch yesterday, for me, Marla wasn't real. Then I read a few interviews that you gave when you said that for you, she was real. And I was watching yesterday with that in mind. Is she or is she not real? It's like seems to be a product of Jack's, Tyler, whatever, imagination. Because in fact, when she appears for the first time, she walks into traffic and nothing happens. It's like, what can you tell me about? Is she real? Is she not real? How do you think of her?
Oh, definitely real. I mean, for one reason, if I was going to start off, I would say Jack finds out that she's doing the same thing in support groups. She's showing up. She doesn't have the problem that the people have, which is what he's doing, pretending to have the problem. And he's actually attracted to her. And what I wanted to make really clear when they interacted, even though they were hostile about doing the same thing, or especially him, was hostile that someone else was doing the same thing, is that they had all this in common. He secretly attracted to her, but he didn't really know how to approach someone who was as wild, bohemian, and strange as she was. And in order to be the kind of person who would meet her, he invented, his mind did, not consciously, but out of really a form of split personality, a mental disease, he created Tyler Durden in order to meet Marla, you know, and to be with Marla. Another reason is towards the end, it's really through her, I mean, she's one way, that he finds out that he is the same person as Tyler. If she were not real, we would lose, everything would become unreal in a way. It would start pulling loose a thread and the whole movie becomes loose and unwound. And I don't think it could work, really, if she was not real.
You want to finish her off?
No. No, thank you.
Who are you talking to?
Shut up.
When Brad came out of the bedroom and from having sex with Marla, he had rubber gloves on. And there was a discussion about what color they should be.
and
I had to, you know, make sure they weren't recording the sound of me laughing. Because would they be orange? Would they be yellow? Would they be gray? You know, that was funny.
And why does he have gloves when he's out of the bedroom?
What's that?
Why does he have gloves? Why?
Well, I can't tell you that. There's an implication of, bizarre sex. basically.
You met me at a very strange time in my life.
Do you think this movie can, because we are living in the age of the reboots, remakes, everything, do you think this movie could it be ever remade like with cell phones, with, I don't know, social media, or I don't know if you are thinking of like doing a rewrite and trying to sell this again?
Well, no, no one's really talked about it being redone. And one of the reasons is, even though technology marches on and new things get invented and life changes, there's something about leaving it as it is, 20 years old, that still has a resonance to people today. And it might be something that gets lost if you tried to remake it,
In Tyler we trusted.